Muito obrigado, Dr. João Nuno. É de facto surpreendente ver o desenvolvimento tecnológico que a indústria do petróleo tem acompanhado e tem fomentado ao longo dos últimos anos. É também bom ver o alinhamento da Galp com a inovação e com a criação de mais-valia económica. A organização do evento deu-me agora, de facto, temos enfim, somos penalizados pelo atraso que a conferência tem e, portanto, para ganhar algum tempo, temos que ser breves, de facto, no período de debate, infelizmente, das questões. E, portanto, eu pediria, enfim, para quem tiver alguma questão para se apresentar, para fazer a questão o mais concisa quanto possível, para podermos dar resposta também rapidamente. Temos aqui uma aqui à frente. Pode-se apresentar primeiro, por favor.
Oscar Mota, Association of Naval Industries. My question regards the methane hydrates that were briefly talked about. As far as I know, there could be very huge deposits around the world, meaning that the capacity of energy with that kind of mineral could be of same order of magnitude as the coal on land. Mr. Scott presented or shown that there can be some deposits for the south of Portugal. But my questions are, is that true? Is that still true that the ports around the world are so huge as it has been said since a few years? Is that possible that Portugal can have other deposits in the economic zone, in the exclusive economic zone? And finally, do you believe that they can be explored in the next 10 or 20 years? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Steve?
That's a very good question, and I am not a real expert on methane hydrates or gas hydrates. However, I do know something about them. And you're right, there are many places around the world where on the continental shelves there are these gas hydrates. For example, off the west coast of Canada, where I have done some work, and they're exposed to there. You can actually, it looks like ice, white ice on the seafloor. And some of these were discovered by fishermen who were dragging, and they pulled this white stuff up, and it came to the surface and was hissing and hissing, and it scared them because they didn't know what it was. It was gas hydrate. And the only knowledge I have about Portugal is that you have these so-called mud volcanoes off your southwest coast, and that are leaking methane. So there must be gas hydrates there. But I don't know how well your continental shelf has been explored. I don't know how many more there might be, because especially if they're under some sediment and they're frozen solid, so they don't leak any gas. There are geophysical methods for finding them, but I'm not aware of anybody in Portugal doing this. As for whether you should even consider recovering them, I would wait until others recover them and let them spend all the money to figure out the technology and then just use it here.
Thank you very much, Steve. Outra questão ali. Professor Fernando Barriga.
Good afternoon. I would like to ask the experts on massive sulfide deposits their opinion on the present status or stage of exploration for massive sulfide deposits. I'm particularly interested in knowing your opinion on the potential of the seafloors, of the deep sea floor, in deposits lying under a thin cover of sediment. So hidden deposits, and the scale of those deposits compared with what we know right at the surface.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's a question I really do appreciate as the prospecting manager of Nautilus Minerals. That's exactly my job, to understand that. The surface expression of these systems as chimneys is not what we expect to mine at all. Even our deposit that we're looking at, there's only 80,000 tonnes in all the chimneys of our 2.5 million tonnes that we intend developing. Most of the system at Sawara 1, the system we know the best, it's probably the best understood system anywhere in the world, exists under a shallow cover of about 2 metres. Now, I briefly put it up so you probably wouldn't have recognised it, but one of the pictures we showed was an electromagnetic image. And that electromagnetic image was key to delineating the subsurface extent of the mineralisation. The weakness of that particular system is it only looks about 5 metres. But that was exactly the purpose and why we developed and patented that technology. It was to look in that 2 to 3 metres below the surface. As an addition to your comment, we have found, as a separate lens of mineralisation on our Sawara 1 lease, we have found the north zone, which is buried by a 2-metre lava flow. So it's not only sediment cover that can hide these deposits, it is also recent lava flows, particularly on a geological setting like a mid-ocean basalt, mid-ocean ridge, where you get very liquid lavas flowing. They can make like a chocolate cap on an ice cream, if you like, and cover things. We have successfully discovered mineralisation beneath such settings. In terms of the size potential, we know from the geological record these systems can be large. Exploration is at its infancy around the world. Even in our area where we've been exploring and where a lot of the academic interest from marine scientific research institutes has happened, we still find 5 new systems per month when we're on the water, target testing, and it takes about 1 month to generate those targets. So if you like, 5 new SMS discoveries every 2 months is our current rate of success. We hope that is maintained, of course. In terms of size, I think the total will add up a lot. There are a variety of opinions on that, and you can hear experts on both sides of the fence. We're holding steady to say there's nothing in the modern oceans that is different to the ancient oceans in terms of what we'd expect the size to be from what we've seen. Just in the Bismarck Sea, 19 systems we've found so far, not much work at all. We've found 2 that we've been able to quote an economic resource on. So size, I'd say the jury's out, and we believe it's there.
Thank you very much, Jonathan. Por restrições de tempo temos mesmo que concluir a sessão. É uma matéria que apenas serve como uma introdução àquilo que vai ser a discussão sobre estas matérias nos próximos tempos. Uma matéria que Portugal irá seguir certamente com muita atenção, enfim, como país detentor de uma área de jurisdição marinha bastante alargada. E queria desde já, e para finalizar, agradecer aos intervenientes a sua presença. Muitíssimo obrigado a todos.